All right, so now we're recording. We're going to get ready to start, and I'm going to share my screen. What I'm going to do with this presentation today is do it all by way of a PowerPoint. It's not going to be one that I'm going to read, but it's going to be one because I think hearing and seeing is better than just hearing a discussion. So if I go to here, and everybody can see my screen. Yes?
Yep. Yes.
All right, if I hit F5, it's not starting my PowerPoint. So do I have to, does anyone know, do I have to go screen by screen or?
Down the bottom right-hand side, the little screen, hit it.
I don't have one.
Yes, you do. Come
I
to the left.
can't see the screen.
Come to the left. Take your mouse to the left, Dan. No,
all the way to the left.
Too far. Went too far.
Yeah.
Over to the right. Over, right there.
I clicked it. Twice. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
I
As-
can't.
I can.
No, you guys.
I can.
Okay, so sounds like most of you can. Some of you may have lag in your internet connection, but it should be popping up. Again, this is going to be recorded. I'll put it on YouTube. I'll give Matthew the link, and he'll be able to send it out. As we go through, I'm going to be looking at the screen, but I only see a couple of folks. So if you have a question, jump in, speak up. If you want to use the chat, that's fine. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you an overview or more of an update where we are at this time getting ready for the fall semester. Let's see. So quite a few of you have already seen this if you've been attending department meetings or reading through the department notes, but our courses for the fall are going to be rearranged, redeveloped, but our hopes are that we're making 3 pathways for students so that they can get the developmental math they need to benefit them in the future. Not everything we've ever learned about developmental math, but just what they need to put them in the best position to complete the math courses they need that are at the 100 or above level. Starting with Math 006, that's going to be revised in a minute or two. I'll talk about what's in all of these courses, but our current pathway is we have our first level introductory Math 006 course. If you look to the left, you're going to see our quantitative literacy pathway. So students who need Math 100 or Math 111 will only need to have Math 070 as a prerequisite. Our second pathway is coming down the middle, and this is our statistics pathway. And as you can see, we have a developmental course called Math 080, and this is going to be the prereq for Math 202. And finally, our third pathway is what's called the STEM pathway, and that's our Math 091 developmental course and our Math 090 and 091. Those courses then lead into all of these college level math courses that require a developmental prereq. We do have a packet that I'm going to have Matthew probably.
You can move over.
Okay, I'm going to have Matthew put on the D2L page. And it needs updated again. We keep updating it, but we'll have the most current one there. But if you need to explain to someone in simplicity what we're doing, you can do it by way of this flow chart, which is what I presented to the president's cabinet, and they were all excited to see what's going on in the future. Now, another thing down the STEM pathway, that's the one on the right, you see the introduction of our new Math 116 course. It's college algebra for calculus, and it's going to be a 4-credit course, and we're recommending students in the STEM pathway to take 116 and 104 to get the calc instead of the traditional pathway of 103, 104, and 119. Now, we feel weaker students may still want to go the traditional 103, 104, and 119 route, but those who are pretty good and pretty successful with math may want to go down that 116, 104 pathway. Some of you have had students this semester that didn't do well in 103 and they need to retake it. You might want to reach out to them and say, listen, we know you're bound for stats, and this 103, you might want to consider taking it and go a faster pathway since you've at least seen the Math 103. Okay, next screen. Course descriptions, what's going to be involved with the courses. Yeah, you know, we're all battling this COVID-19, and we were having a conversation earlier. We're really hoping that we get back to school because we'd much rather be in the classroom than have to do all of this online. The first course, Math 006, as you can see, Catherine Frost is going to be the course coordinator. It's a revised course. A lot of the material, if not all of it, is going to be the same. We're going to continue to have the study skills. We just had a meeting with the author of the study skills textbook that we're going to use in the fall. And Catherine was given, we were listening, and he gave us a bunch of really good ideas. One of which I really liked was to do whatever study skills are determined to be done in the first half of the course so that they're able to use them in the second half of the course. So that's going to be incorporated in this 006 course. The 006 course is going to be taught using Alex. It's going to be a self-paced course. Now, one of the beneficial things that we really want to come out of this course is if a student gets in 006 and everything starts coming back to them quickly, they'll be able to finish the 006 model and be able to move on into the 090 module. If they complete that, they could even move on into the 091 module, and in one semester possibly go through all of the developmental courses they need as a STEM major. Now, if they don't need 090, they can still take that, because as you see at the bottom, 090 is also going to allow them to cover the prerequisite for 080 or 070. So 090 is that wild card that allows you to, and if I go back up to this original flow chart, you see passing Math 090 will allow a student to go to Math 100 and 111 or to go to 202. Now, the reason this was built in was to allow campuses that don't have enough students to run 070, the students still have a plan of taking 090 and using that as a prereq. Now, we feel the 070 and 080 are more appropriate courses with the material they're going to learn to get into college algebra or stats. So we prefer them to take 070 and 080, but a backup plan will be to take the 090. Okay, and you see at the very bottom, Math 006 is a prereq for any three of those courses. The next course is Todd Stein's course. I'm sorry, Catherine, would you like to add anything to the course description?
No, you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Can I jump in?
Sure.
This is Mallory. I just wanted to point out that if you go back to the Math 6 slide at the bottom, one of the big differences is that you have to pass this course with a C or better, and passing this course with a C or better means that you are ready for Math 70, 80, and 90. Unlike the past, when we use their placement, we're going away from that, and we're using their actual grade in Math 6 to move them on to a different course. So that's just a big difference between what it was and what it's going to be.
Thanks for catching that. Math 070, this is the prereq for Math 100 and 111. This is going to be an instructor-paced course, and one of the things that we're trying to do in all of these instructor-paced courses this year is to get students involved in active learning. and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But unlike 006, this one will have an instructor. This one will still be using Alex. Okay, so it's not a self-paced, but it'll be used for homework. All of these courses have had groups that have been meeting for the last year working to put these courses together. Again, this is going to be the prereq for the 100 and 111. One of the things that I was talking with Todd about the other day is potentially incorporating some study skills. So he just got a copy of Knowlton's book, and we're going to take a look at that and see if there's any way we could help. Again, this is all about helping the students, succeed in this course or maybe future math courses. Todd, did you have anything you'd like to add? Okay.
No, you did a great job. Thanks, Dan.
Okay. Math 080 is going to be the course to lead into stats. This is the one developmental course I think could be the most fun, especially with everything that's going on right now. I keep turning on the TV like most of you do, and I look at the stats, and I go back to a course I had at Millersville, how to lie with stats. And boy, I think our news is doing a lot of telling just the side of the story that they want. But there's so much going on statistically. This is a course, 080, that we're looking to get students involved. They will be using the Alex platform for their homework, but we're looking to get them involved with more data, doing the math by way of here's data, and all of a sudden I look and I created a line, and now I need an equation of a line instead of just starting plainly with an equation of a line. This is the prereq for Math 202, again with the C or better, and also 090 could be used as a substitute for 080. I don't think Brian is with us, but anybody from his committee have a comment? Okay. 090. This is going to be different than the 090 we have still this summer. And we're paying a lot of attention to the detail of making sure that wherever we start mentioning 090, it's pre-fall 2020 or post-fall 2020. This course is no longer going to be used as a placement type, learning and placement type of course. This is going to be a regular, compared to maybe a beginning algebra type of course. You can see this is also going to be a self-paced course. If a student completes the module for 090, they will be able to work on the module for 091. And we're actually going to put together a module for 103 material if they get through both of these classes. This can also, as I said before, be used as a substitute for 070 and 080. As you can see, all of these courses are going to be used Alex, and McGraw-Hill has been overwhelmingly positive and supportive of everything we're doing. Ricky, do you have anything you'd like to add to 090, or even Mallory?
No.
Anything else, Mallory?
Just the same comment I made for Math 6. I just want to point it out again. Now, if you get a grade of C or higher in 90, that allows you to take 91. So we're not using that placement like we've had in the past.
Thank you. 091 is going to be a lot like our intermediate algebra course. It's the part of the STEM pathway. It's after students take 090. But the new thing that we've incorporated into this course, and again, what we're doing is condensing all of those 13 credits that we used to have down to 9 credits in the STEM pathway. And one of the things the 091 group felt was we're going to need a little bit more than those 3 credit hours. So we went to Cindy Doherty, and she gave us the blessing to create these lab components to go along with it, where students are going to have to go into a computer lab And we have two different situations. One's for classroom and one's for online. But a classroom student's going to need to sign up for a lab. That's going to be, you can see 50 minutes per week. We are so crossing our fingers to be back on campus, but this group has been working on situations of what if we're on campus, what if we're not on campus. So the group leaders have done fantastic with looking at all possible situations that we could be facing in the fall to make sure the rollout of these courses are going to be successful. Joseph, would you like to add anything else to this?
Nope. Sounds good.
Okay, thank you. All right. The big thing that, I do a lot of, I get around the country to see what's going on in the math world, and the pathways, as well as co-requisites, which we're not using, the pathways is really, really popular. And it's the tip of everybody's tongue. Getting students through developmental, because the longer they're there, the less successful they're going to be. Well, the other buzzwords that come out include active learning. And one of the things that I've been pushing for, and I'm meeting resistance from folks, but I've been pushing for is the students don't want to really just sit there and be this passive learner. They want to get involved. They want to do things. And I don't mean a fun review game, even though that's a possibility. But as you can see, students want to become active. They want to become involved. McGraw-Hill is completely supportive of this. And they're actually going to have one of their authors named Brian Mercer. He's going to show how his active classroom works for us. He's said, I'll come to your campus. I'll do Zoom meetings. He'll show whatever. But one of the things we want to get back to is more of this active learning. And one of the things I think we've learned from 090 is that the instructors who turn them loose and aren't with the students aren't the ones that are the most successful. Now, I don't have data to back that up, but the teachers now have an opportunity to move around the classroom and help individuals, the ones that need it more than some of the others. Okay, I'm going to keep moving. All right, now how do we transition? One of the decisions that was made was we are going cold turkey, cutting out our current developmental series and moving on with the new one. When we made our last transition, we kept finding one bump in the road and we kept adding courses and deleting courses. Well, this time we're going to go, as soon as we hit the fall, we're starting with the new courses. Some of you are still advising students for the summer, and we still have a couple of weeks to do that, so I thought it was important to include this. And let's take an example of down the third row. Start with Math 022, okay? Now, a student may choose, if they're in the quant pathway, that's the second column, a student may choose to take the Math 022 in the fall, or excuse me, in the summer, or they can wait and take 070 in the fall. They need to get to 100 or 111, and the prereq is 022 or 070. So if they don't want to take 022 this summer, they can wait until the fall and take 070. If they want to get into 100 or 111, they would take the 022 this summer. So this screen and the next two screens are all of this process of what students should take. Now, I'm not going to go through all these. Like I said, we're going to have a pamphlet available, but we've gone through and thought out, what if a student needs such and such a course? They're in, for example, the STEM pathway, and their next course listed is, let's look at this screen, STEM pathway, they need 202, okay? The next course needed in the current one is 033. Student may choose to take the 033 in the summer or wait until the fall to take 080. Now, here's a crazy one. If you look at Math 044 and you come across and you see this stats pathway, which means they need to take 202. Well, they don't need to take 044 in the fall, because as some of you have found out, starting fall of 2020, the prereq for Math 202 is being dropped to 033. It's no longer 033, 044, and 055. Okay, so they don't have to take the 044. All right, and it's, you notice it says once new prereqs are approved. Well, it's been approved, so that's something that would have needed to have been updated. So there's this chart for, the courses that we have currently. And if you need to do advising for any students, you can come grab this from the Pathways Guide. And if you have questions about it, you can always contact me. A lot of what I'm trying to do today is to show you what's available for you as to reference. And then if you have questions, you can go to me or Matthew, or start with the two of us and we'll have the answer for you. Any questions on this if you're still advising students to take courses for the summer? Good, thank you. For the fall, so we're getting ready to put our students in these new courses for the fall. So instead of the summer, here's now a layout of, for example, let's stay with statistics. Students who plan to enroll in Math 008, which no longer exists, should enroll in Math 006. Now, hopefully, we won't have any 008 students because we eliminated 006 for the summer, and anybody that took 006 in the spring, we were really encouraging everybody to help students get through it, and that's part of the reason why we included the calculator.
You guys gonna stop here?
So that they could get through the 006 and the 008. Okay. Students who plan to enroll in 022 or 033 should take the 008, and students who plan to enroll in 044 and 055 no longer need to. They can go right to 202. So if you're advising a student for the fall, this would be the page you would come to. Hopefully, if you have any comments, you can also make notes and email them to me. But we've seen the screen a couple of times, some of you, and we think we have all the bugs ironed out. All right, this looks like a real cluster mess, but here's what's going to happen. I'm sorry, somebody needs to mute.
Dan, can you mute everyone?
I'm looking for it here. I can mute me.
Under participants at the very bottom, mute all.
Yeah, but with my screen shared, I can't, it doesn't come up.
Oh.
I don't have it. But anyhow.
Okay.
So taking a look at this screen, it looks a little confusing, but what we had to do was take a look at, if I want to get into a course, what is my prereq from? What will be the new pathway courses? So that's starting spring 2021, because no one has completed any of them yet. Or did they fall into our current 008, 022, 033, 044? Or did they pass one of these 010, 020s, and 045s? Because we're still in a 5-year period with these classes that if someone did pass 022, or excuse me, 020, where would they go next? And if you look over, if someone passed 020, they would go into 091 next. So we tried to set up a list of prerequisites and where they could go based on our three, the new, the current, and the old set of developmental courses. Questions? Once again, this is available. It'll be in the guide, and we'll get everybody to have a copy of that. All right. Now, as a lot of you know, this quarantining, we're not allowed to go out anywhere. And what that also means is students aren't allowed to go on campus to take their placement test. So 4 weeks ago, a couple of us met with Cindy Doherty, and she said we need to change our way of placement so that students can do it online. Well, the first thing is we incorporated this multiple measures. Jason Rosenberry led the charge on this. And for those of you who haven't seen this yet, students are now eligible to take 100 level courses that require that have a prerequisite of one of our developmental courses. In order to do this, they need to meet one of the following criteria. SAT of math score of 530 or higher, all the way down through high school GPA of 3.0 or higher. These measures were researched by a group. We found what we felt was the best fit for us. We had discussions including, well, is one enough? Should students meet two of these? But what we found nationally is passing any of these is a great indicator for student success in courses that include Math 100, 103, 104, all the way up. All those courses that need a developmental prerequisite.
Dan,
Yes.
did you want to add within 5 years of graduation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, and then just to remind you that regardless of whether or not the student took that Algebra 2 in 9th grade, the reality is the advisors will see the date of graduation.
Right, right.
Thank you.
And that was something Cindy Muth did presentations at Lancaster for us, and that was some of the questions we received from those folks. And it's a bunch of little bugs that we had to iron out. And that was, yeah, in fact, we talked about students with a high school algebra grade of A. If they're in 9th grade, well, they're probably going to have an SAT of 530 or higher in math, or their GPA is going to be higher than 3.0. And there's a lot of these measures that will also come into play. And we even discussed graduation, the exact graduation day. And we had a lot of discussion, but this is where we are at this point. So what we had to put in place now, and this is going to be in place for the summer and fall, the math department, we completed our part of this about a week and a half ago, and we're still waiting for one of the entities at HAC to put the final piece in place. But we are now switching away from Accuplacer. We made a deal with McGraw-Hill, and we're going to be using their PPL for math assessment. And one of the words we've been trying to use a lot is assessment instead of testing, because the concept of a test versus, oh, we're just assessing your math ability so we can put you in the right place is a little more modern terminology. So the Alex Placement Preparation and Learning Tool is what we'll be using for the placement for summer and fall. They will be doing this in a non-proctored environment. They will be doing it at home. And we are crossing our fingers and hoping for the best integrity and continuing to explain to the students that you need to be assessed to go into the proper course. If you cheat on it, you're going to be put in a course that you can't handle, and you may end up going backwards anyhow and losing a semester. So you want to be forthright and honest and doing the best you can. This placement preparation and learning tool provided by McGraw-Hill is going to give students a score from 0 to 100. And if a student knows they're in the STEM pathway, they can take a look at their score and know right where they're placed. If they're in need of Math 202 in the stats pathway, they can look at the score and see directly where they would be placed. And the same is true for the quantitative, well, that's a typo, for the quantitative literacy pathway. So here's the layout of what's going to happen with the student with the PPL. They're going to apply to the Welcome Center. Our hopes are the Welcome Center is going to send a letter to the students with the link to go take the PPL score or test. When they take the test, they're going to get a score, and then they'll get a link back to a HAC page that says, oh, here's your score, here's the pathway, here's the course that you should probably be taking. This is what you can register for. Now, the student can take the test up to, Mallory, we set it at 3 times, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So the student takes the test and they don't like their score. So they did the placement part of PPL. Now, what if a student wants to take it again? Well, this is one of the things we think is an advantage of the PPL. where we have set that a student can go back into Alex and they will be able to, well, they'll have to do a 3-hour learning module of material that is generated by PPL that will help them succeed. And then they have to do this within a cool-off period of at least 24 hours before they can take it again. And then if they want to take it a third time, we have 5 hours of preparation and learning that they would have to go through and another cool-off period, and they would be able to take it a third time. So our thoughts are, if they do want to take it a second time, great. They can't just say, I'm going to do it right now. They need to do some preparation to get ready for it, and hopefully they'll see an improvement. Mallory, fill in the blanks.
I think you did a good job.
Okay. Questions, because this is what we're going to be using, and we made a deal for only 2 years so that we can assess this without saying, oh, we're going to use it for a semester, we're going to use it for 10 years. We're in place for 2 years. Starting in the fall, the PPL test or assessment will be back on campus. But for those that need to take it this summer, it'll be non-proctored.
Dan, I do have an update. I'm sorry. I do think that the Welcome Center or somebody is sending out the link because people are starting to take the assessment, and I believe scores are starting to be uploaded today.
Oh, great. It's good. That makes me kind of happy. That should make everybody kind of happy, because all those summer and fall courses that aren't populated, students will now be able to start registering for. And hopefully that brings up registration numbers all over the place. I think this is one of the really important parts of what's going on. Does anybody have any questions about the PPL? Okay, once again, if you have questions, you can always email me, and I'll get the answers out. All right, we still will have to take a look at some of the Accuplacer scores. I know what you see in front of you is really small and it's a little confusing. What I'm trying to show you is, and this was put together by Jason Rosenberry, this is a chart that's laid out. It's a quick, short summary of if we have to use one of those old Accuplacer scores, where they go. In the actual Pathways guide packet that's put together, there's more detail that Cindy Muth put together that lays out, makes it a little more easy to read. It's another option versus interpreting it through this chart. But thanks to Cindy and Jason for putting this work together. And if you need to evaluate an old Accuplacer score, it's going to be in the guide for you. Okay. Now, one of the things we had to take into consideration is, all right, well, what if a student failed a course and they take one of our new courses in the fall? How do we, what's the equivalency? What can we use for grade removal? Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I'm here to let you know we've thought it out. Hopefully we thought it through. There may be some details to come up with, but on the left, we took a look at all of our old classes. So say, for example, student failed 020 or got a D and like to replace it. Starting in the fall, if they complete 006 with a AL 90 score of 80, that's that Math 090 module. It's going to be referenced as AL 90. If they complete that module with an 80 or better, or they complete 090, they will be able to substitute their grade back to 020 and replace it. So we think we've taken care of this part of what happens once we start taking these courses and students need to do this grade removal going backwards. And as you can see, we went to the last 2 sets of developmentals because we took care of the old 022, 045, 051 classes as well. So we've laid this out. We've put several sets of eyes on it, and we think we're pretty good with what we have. One of the things I want to get out of this, though, is the AL 90 AL91 are the modules in ALEX that a student could take in 006 or possibly the AL91 a student could take in Math 090. And we set the bar at 80% or better. Now, some of you may be nervous and you're starting to wonder, okay, so this is going to be a lot thrown at us, and we know that. And even though we've only started this a year ago, we think we've put a lot of things in place. For example, today we have this presentation. It's going to be recorded. I'm hoping lots of questions come out of it, because every time we do a presentation, we get questions and we start filling in what ifs that may happen in the fall. Next Thursday, May 28th, there's going to be, well, Mallory, why don't I just let you take over with the rest of this page?
Okay. So probably should have gotten an email from Luke Whalen from Alex late last night. It was to learn the student experience of Alex. And this was sent to you and asked for you to spend a little bit of time in Alex, especially if you have not spent any time in Alex yet. This is going to be a really good idea to see the student side and the instructor side of Alex. If you've taught something like Math 6 or Math 90 and used Alex before, I still would recommend to try and go in there and see how the setup is a little bit different than we currently have it on the student end. So please try to do that by the May 28th date so that you're prepared for that meeting. On that day, we still have to iron out the times, and hopefully we'll do that at some point today or tomorrow and send that information out. But we plan on having Luke Whalen do some sessions on Alex, an intro to Alex, and then we'll also plan on having a session on active learning from hopefully Brian Mercer or Dave Sebecki, the authors of the Math 080 book. So we plan to have some introductory information for you on the 28th. And then we are gonna hopefully have a in-person training in Harrisburg or Lancaster, really close to that start date. If that can't happen, again, we'll probably convert that to a virtual training, but we're gonna touch back again right before the semester starts. In the meantime, in between those two trainings, because we're all online this summer, we're gonna create a D2L math department site for where you can go and get this training. We plan to have modules set up within the D2L course. There will be an Alex overview module that will have little videos for you to look at, and how do I change this in my grade book? How do I look for this within Alex? So there'll be little videos for you to look on that. The individual courses will all have a module in D2L that will give you information about the course and how it's different from the other courses. Each course coordinator is going to make that module for you and have contact and information and videos or documents. And it might also link out to Microsoft Teams, because we're storing all of our documents within Microsoft Teams. There will be a Microsoft Teams module, so if you're not familiar with it, it'll give you some information about that. There will be an active learning module, because as Dan talked about earlier, that's going to be one of our emphasis going forward with the pathways. So we want to look at that. Dave Sebecki and Brian Mercer have some really good videos about how they do it in their classroom and what it kind of looks like. So we'll have some of their resources within that. What we are looking for you to do on your end is to go into this D2L module, D2L course, and do the module for the courses that you're teaching, and also look at those extra modules that are in there to help support you with the Alex, the Teams, the active learning. And once you complete those, you will get a little incentive from McGraw-Hill. They're going to give a gift card out. But also that will prepare you for your course, and it will also you have to complete those to be able to be eligible to teach your courses going forward in the fall. And Dan is going to keep track of that and make sure that information gets sent to the deans so that they know you're ready.
Mallory. Yeah, down at number 4, one of the things we're hoping that these mini videos, when we have this Thursday, May 28th Zoom meeting, and as we get questions, we're going to take all those questions and make those become mini videos. Because if people are asking the questions now, that means others are going to be asking the questions. So we're going to have all this on a D2L site. It should be good. My point is we're putting a lot of emphasis on training so that folks don't say, oh my gosh, this is going to be overwhelming. We're going to make it a step-by-step process and have as much available as possible. But yeah, the individual course videos that each of the course coordinators are going to do, what I'm doing is embedding little quizzes inside. So when you take the quizzes, at the end of the video, a score for the quiz gets uploaded, and I get a list every night of who completed those videos. So we started playing around with it. We think it's kind of neat, but it's a way of tracking. Make sure everybody completes the video for the course they're about to teach.
The other thing I wanted to mention was that the course coordinators also plan to hold some meetings over the summer that they're going to invite you to, so that anybody teaching the course that wants to join in on these meetings and learn more about what's happening, or maybe iron out some of those last minute questions, look for that email from the course coordinators, because they plan to include you if you're teaching in the fall.
Okay, so the virtual training that's going to be on the 28th, as Mallory was mentioning a minute ago, it's going to be 2 sessions. The first one is going to be active learning. The second one is going to be this focused on Alex. Brian Mercer is a great guy. Some of our faculty went to New York to meet with McGraw-Hill. They gave us the red carpet treatment because they don't do it for very many schools. And Brian Mercer and Luke were there, and they, I don't want to say held our hands, but they were really positive and encouraging, helping us put all of our courses together. So for some reason, McGraw-Hill really likes us, and they're taking care of us with everything that we need to do. But this virtual training that's going to be next week, we waited till the semester ends. Fortunately, we don't have summer classes kicking in right away that we're able to use this time. And as Mallory said, we're going to get some date or some times out and a little more information next week. But I'm kind of excited that they're giving us all of this help and support. Okay, one of the things we have that we started using with our groups, our course coordinators and our groups that were working on all this, we started putting the information on Microsoft Teams. And Jason Rosenberry went above and beyond laying this out for each course. And what we're looking for is to have a place where we can do all kind of collaboration. Now, we're still going to have our D2L site, but this is going to be another site that will be devoted specifically to each one of the courses. So any course you're teaching, you can say to the course coordinators, hey, I'd like to have access to that team. And as you can see, the list of everything you really needed for that team is going, or for that course, is going to be available in that team. So all you have to do is jump in and say, oh, there's a sample of the syllabus. Oh, I need a project. I need some sort of activity. All of that's going to be stored on this team. There's going to be discussion posts. So people may have been talking about something and you read back through and say, oh, I didn't know that, or oh, that's a good idea, or post something where you need help. But I keep seeing more and more commercials on TV. I think Microsoft is doing a lot of supporting of this Teams, and everything that I've used it for so far, I've really enjoyed. So we're going to have all of this material available to you. One of the things about the new courses, the final exams are going to be created for you and some of the tests will be created for you. And that's going to be more information that will come from the course coordinators when they talk about the courses. But we're going to try to make it as easy as possible, especially for the situations where we don't really know our enrollment numbers for the fall. And we may be adding courses, we may be deleting courses. There could be a lot of last minute changes coming, and we want to be prepared for anything that's thrown at us. So we really like this Microsoft Teams. And if you know what you're teaching and you want to get involved with it right away, that would be great. Back to Mallory. This is just a little bit more of what's going on. Mallory?
Okay, and I just wanted to add to Dan's last comment. We're asking that you trust the team this semester going forward with what we've come up with for you and put in Alex to try it out at least for a semester and give feedback, work together, and then we're obviously going to make changes and modifications as we go forward. So, but in terms of the Alex timeline, I just realized that maybe you're not on the schedule yet for teaching a new math class in the fall. So if that's the case, or you're going to be put on the schedule, or that you're just still interested because you might teach one, please email me and let me know if you did not receive Luke's email last night, and we'll make sure that you get that email and that you can jump into Alex and play around. Again, for those of you that didn't hear me earlier, please try to get in there and play around if you can. If you haven't seen Alex before, please definitely spend all of that time that he suggests in Alex. If you've used Alex before to some extent, just go ahead and get in there and just see kind of how it's going to be different going forward. So he already sent out that email. And just please work on that before our meeting on May 28th, because that would just help you be prepared. Right now, what he sent out is just a Math 90 demo course, but by June 1st, I plan on putting some of the demo courses that you will be teaching into your Alex account for you to play around with for the rest of the summer. So look for that. If you are, again, not on the schedule for a certain course at this time and you're interested in that, please let me know if you want a different course in your Alex account to play around with for the summer. We put in there the detailed training site will be in there by July 1st to give you at least 2 months to look over that content. We're hoping to get it sooner, but that's just kind of our deadline with these. And then I will make sure to put in your official Alex courses for the fall by August 1st. And then what I mean by accelerated courses is now that if you finish the Math 6 module early, you would accelerate into the Math 90 course. If you finish the Math 90 course early, then you would accelerate into the Math 91 course within Alex. So those will at least be into your account by the start of the semester. Going forward, the plan is to put those into everybody's instructor account so that you don't have to go through someone like me to get your students switched into an accelerated course. The instructor could do that on their own. Any questions or anyone else have anything to add?
I will add, does somebody have something?
Dan, this is Jason.
Go ahead.
Want to make a quick Microsoft Teams pitch in that I see this as being really beneficial for those teaching the 70, 80, 90, 91 courses for the first time in the fall, where you guys can have instant discussions, real-time discussions about how things are going in those courses, what's working for you, what's not working for others. And it's also a way to declutter our email inboxes. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm not a big fan of the reply to all where we have 20, 30 emails. So I'm really hoping that can go to the Microsoft Teams discussions that the course coordinators hopefully will build for everyone. So thank you.
Great point. I do want to mention while we're still on Alex that we are blessed to have Mallory as our Alex know-it-all. She takes care of or answers every question we have. We have about 150 developmental courses coming up in the fall. And one of the things I want to ask folks for, if you have a question, you might want to be able to ask it with your specific team for Alex, and maybe somebody has it, because with 150 courses, you can't imagine the number of emails that Mallory gets. As my office mate, I know she gets quite a few. And so some of the less technical questions, maybe a video, maybe something on Teams, it can be worked out. But with her managing the courses, and you can see the amount of work she does for us, I just want to say we really appreciate it. And if you're stuck, she's got the answer, and it's hard for her to say no. So, but
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, if you could go through your course coordinator first, and then they will ask me, because another goal of mine is to try and get more people to understand more about Alex as we go forward. So we can work together this year to try and get more people to understand what's going on. That would be wonderful. I think Cindy had a question.
No questions?
Yeah, Cindy asked if the prep courses, college algebra and statistics, available for students who complete that 90 and 91 modules, the accelerated. Yes, they would still be available for them if they needed them.
Okay, so this summer, up to this point, we've called them groups, and we've had group leaders, and the groups have done amazing work, and they all know they're not done, because we just keep finding more and more things that hopefully this front end work is going to make when we start the fall a whole lot easier. The groups, now that we have course coordinators officially in place, the course coordinators are going to be having meetings weekly or bi-weekly meetings, still working on putting these courses together. Okay. In the fall, the course coordinators are going to be having weekly or bi-weekly meetings to talk about, hey, the course is going great. I did this, it worked well. I did this, it flopped. So that we can continue the conversation about these courses. If you are interested in being part of the meetings for this summer, please let your the course coordinator know that you'd like to be part of the discussion. The groups are already partially in place, but when we have, I don't know how many hundred faculty, we don't have everybody involved yet. And I think some more full-time and some more part-time folks would like to get involved and know what's going on this summer to help them to get ready for the fall. So they're waiting for you to contact them. You know who they are. Some of them will send out emails. For example, Todd may take a look at who's teaching 070 and contact them, and so on. But please feel free to contact them, because the work, the passion is going to continue this summer. Okay. Are there any questions? I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to the big view, and I look at chat, and I just see the one from Cindy Muth. Does anybody else have a question? Okay. If not, I shot for an hour, and it looks like we kind of hit an hour, and this will be posted. You're going to keep seeing information throughout the summer. But again, if you have questions, send them to me, send them to Matthew. Be nice to Mallory. Okay. If not, thanks everybody, and have a good summer.